Why Visionary CEOs Never Have Visionary Successors. The author is Steve Blank, Silicon Valley serial entrepreneur and academician. The full article is available at Harvard Business Review. Microsoft entered the 21st century as the dominant software provider for computing devices. 16 years later, that dominance is looking threadbare. The reason is failed leadership, and Apple, currently the dominant tech firm for the mobile era, is at risk of making the same mistakes. After running Microsoft for 25 years, Bill Gates handed the reins of CEO to Steve Ballmer in 2000. If you think the job of a CEO is to increase sales, then Ballmer did a spectacular job. In 14 years, he tripled Microsoft's sales to $78 billion. But if the purpose of the company is its long-term survival, he was a failure as CEO, as he optimized short-term gains by squandering long-term opportunities. Ballmer failed to execute on the 5 most important technology trends of the 21st century. In search, losing to Google. In smartphones, losing to Apple. In mobile operating systems, losing to Google, Apple. In media, losing to Apple, Netflix. And in the cloud, losing to Amazon. Why a very smart CEO missed all of these? It wasn't that Microsoft didn't have smart engineers and those projects. The problem was that Ballmer organized the company around execution of its current strengths, the Windows and Office businesses. Projects not directly related to those activities never got serious resource or management attention. And that brings us to Apple, Tim Cook, and Apple's board. One of the strengths of visionary CEOs is that they build world-class operating executives, but they unconsciously force out the world-class innovators among their direct reports. While Steve Jobs ran Apple, he drove the vision and put strong operating executives in each domain to translate his vision into plans, process, and procedures. When visionary founders depart, the operating executives start to run the company with the blessing of the ex-CEO. They get rid of the chaos in the organization. They value stability, process, and repeatable execution. It often starts a creative death spiral. Creative people start to leave, and other executives are put into more senior roles, hiring more process people, which in turn forces out the remaining creative talent. By 2016, Tim Cook had doubled Apple's revenues to $200 billion. The iPhone continues its annual upgrades of incremental improvements. Yet in 5 years, the only new thing Apple managed to get out the door is the watch. But the world is about to disrupt Apple in the same way that Microsoft was disrupted under Ballmer. Apple brilliantly mastered product design to power the iPhone to dominance. But Google and Amazon are betting that the next wave of computing products will be AI-directed services. It's not that Apple doesn't have exciting things in conversational AI going on in their labs. The problem is a supply chain CEO who lacks a passion for products and has yet to articulate a personal vision of Apple. Without that, he is ill-equipped to make the right organizational, business model, and product bets to bring those innovations to market. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates shared the same blind spot. They suggested execution executives as their successors. They confused world-class execution with the passion for product and customers and market insight. Yet history has shown us that these two talents are not the same. For long-term survival in markets that change rapidly, one is far more important than the other. For more slidecasts, please visit www.innodiary.org.